Hey YouTubers, I wanted to do an update video showing what we were doing trying to fit the 5.3 LS into the 85 S10 Blazer real quick. Something I wanted to point out, because this was not mentioned online. I don't know how much of a headache it's going to be. I'm still just doing an initial fitting. But if you'll look, the 2.8 frame towers are still connected to the front cross member. Then there's the TransDap V8 adapter plate, then a factory V8 rubber mount, factory V8 short, because those clamshells come in long reach, medium, and short. That's a short reach clamshell. Then we have the LSX Industries or Innovations, I think it's called, sorry about that. Adapter plate to go from the LS to the old style clamshell. So that adapter plate, in a previous video, it comes in standard location and then 3 forward locations. We're trying to use the most forward position for several reasons. Number one, when you put a V8 in an S10, generally you cannot get to the bell housing bolts. It's really difficult to get in there. We think that in the foremost position with this LSX Innovations adapter plate, that allows you to put the engine in 2 1/4 inches forward. Now I'm going to show you here in a second. I'm just trying to hold the camera as steady as I can to keep this video from being too awfully annoying by hand. But I was going to show you several things that I believe is going to work. I do have one concern. That is the alternator. Because this engine did come out of a truck, it does have the alternator in the truck position. I don't think it's going to clear the hood. But here's my thoughts. Number one, if I move this engine forward 2 1/4 inches, look at the access I have to my transmission bolts. I could pull that transmission, I could do anything I wanted to, even put an automatic back in here and still pull the transmission without having a bunch of headache. That's benefit number one. Number two, I believe it will clear. We had the core support sitting up front and had the aluminum radiator and the cooling fans, because I run the dual electric cooling fans from a Dodge Intrepid. I had it all setting up in here with the engine setting level and everything cleared. So I don't think there's a problem there. As a benefit of what I'm trying to get done by putting this thing so far forward, when you put a T5 in place of a Turbo 350, generally you have to move the cross member back a certain distance, and you have to shorten your drive shaft an equal amount. Well, we are somewhat optimistic that if we move this engine forward 2 1/4 inches, I may not have to alter my cross member location, and I may not have to shorten my drive shaft. Now that could be just dreaming, but if it comes out close, because I had always felt like my drive shaft may have been just a tad short anyway. I had the drive shaft built at a local company here in Kansas City, and I measured everything the way they told me to, but I always felt like it could have been a little bit longer. I don't know if maybe they miscut it or maybe I